Hi guys, I tried to find a quiet spot. First things first, don't forget to put your name. Make sure that it's in pen. That way I can see it. Okay. And don't forget your period, just to make sure the sub doesn't get those confused. Okay. If for some reason not everyone can hear the lesson on their phone, you can have the substitute allow you to put in your key code on my computer, and you can put it on the projector in case that's better for you. Okay, now first things first, binary compounds, they always end in IDE, always. So every time you get an element from the periodic table, like this one here, now this is the assignment you're going to turn in. Make sure that it's not in red pen, and you're going to take a picture of it once you're done with both sides, and you're going to turn it into Google Classroom. Okay? All right, so F with a -1, you're going to look on your periodic table, and that comes from fluorine. Now, anytime you have anything coming from the periodic table and it's the last word in your ionic compound, it's going to change that INE to IDE. So it's going to be fluoride. And my handwriting's messy there. Sorry. Trying to do on a half table. Okay, so that's it. That's all that you're going to change. Every time you have something like iodine that comes from your periodic table, it's in the halogen group, the halogen family, is going to change to iodide. And that's it. The only thing that changes is that IDE ending. That means it's an element and it comes from the periodic table. Okay? So anytime you see a chemical formula and you see that IDE, you know that you're going to look for the periodic table for that symbol. Okay, and it doesn't just work for group 1. I mean, for the halogen group, it can also, it's for any element. So it doesn't matter if it's in the -1 charge family or the -2 charge family. So S, that's sulfur. It's going to still be sulfide. That IDE ending, because it's an element. It comes from the periodic table. So it doesn't matter whether it's a -1, a -3, anything like that. It's still going to be the same thing. So it'll be the same thing for these at the bottom as well. Okay, for all of these too. So go ahead and complete the rest. And then let's go to the next page. The back side. Now here, these ionic compounds. What is an ionic compound? Well, the element on the left is going to be a metal. That means it's the left side of your periodic table. And you're going to have the right side of the compound is going to be a nonmetal. Remember we did those metals, nonmetals, metalloids? Okay, so that first element is always a metal. That second element is your nonmetal. Doesn't matter whether if it's in words or if it's in a chemical formula. So here they're already crisscrossed for you. So let's do something like what we did on Wednesday. Magnesium, let's see if we can make this a little bigger, just so you can see a little bigger. Okay, there we go. All right, magnesium is an Mg, and it has a +2. Chloride, remember that IDE ending comes from chlorine, that's Cl, right off of your periodic table. That halogen group is a -1. Now, remember, the first thing is you look at these numbers. Are they the same? Do they cancel out? No. Can I reduce? No. So that means they're going to crisscross. Now remember, the numbers must be at the bottom of your symbol. Mg is only 1, but you don't have to write a 1. And Cl is going to have that too. And remember, it has to be at the bottom. Well, let me try to erase a little bit of this part. That way you can see the whole complete chemical formula. That's a lowercase l right there. And that too goes on the bottom part. Now, because Cl is an element, you do not need parentheses or anything like that. All of these on this page are elements coming together. So a binary compound only has 2 elements. That's it. That's all you have. So let's do one more. Zinc here is in the group B. It should say Roman numeral 2. The reason it doesn't is because zinc is one of the few in the transitional elements that has a Roman numeral 2 always. So it's always a +2. So zinc is a +2. Sulfide comes from sulfur. That's a -2. If you look on that oxygen family, that whole group has that -2 oxidation number. So, are they the same number? Can they cancel out? Yes. So these two cancel out. Your answer would be just the Zn and the S. That's it. You don't have to crisscross because they've already canceled out. All right? Okay. Let's see. Let's do one more. Something like... I was hoping to see something that canceled out. Let's see something here on the bottom. Nope. Okay. All right. Let's just go ahead and do... let's do aluminum oxide. Aluminum is a +3, and oxide comes from oxygen. That's a -2. Remember, those oxidation numbers are on your periodic table. We did those already a week and a half ago. So, are they the same number? No, we cannot cancel out. Can I reduce them? Can 2 be divided into 3? No. So they're going to crisscross. So aluminum will be the 2 on the bottom, and oxygen is going to get that 3 is going to go down to the oxygen right there on the bottom. Okay, and that's it. That's all you're going to do. Now, on this opposite side, I'm actually already giving you the chemical formula. So you're going to ignore the numbers because those came from what used to be crisscrossed. So for now, you're just going to ignore it. So here, Al is what? It's just aluminum. And that is not coming out well. Okay, let's try that again. Aluminum. And F is for fluorine, but remember when it's in a binary compound, fluorine is going to change to fluoride. I-D-E. And there you go. That's it. That's all you have. Those charges were already crisscrossed. You already had the chemical formula. So when you go into a name, it's kind of like you're uncrisscrossing. But whenever you have a name, you don't have the numbers. The only time you have any kind of number is a Roman numeral, and I'll show you how to do that on Monday. Okay? And that's it. Let's do another one. Let's do something like number 8. Let's do number 8. Doesn't have numbers on the bottom. Doesn't matter. All you're looking for is the actual symbol. What's my name for K? You're going to look for that on your periodic table because it's an element. That is potassium. And Br is bromide. I-D-E. That's it. That's all you're doing. So basically here they're giving you the answers that you looked for on this other side, and you're going to give me the name. That's all. You're going to look at the periodic table. I wonder if you guys need one more. Let's do something like number 12. Number 12, Na is sodium, and S is sulfur. And that sulfur is going to change to sulfide because you're in a binary compound. You have two elements in this compound. Anything from the periodic table, when it's on the last part of the name, is going to change to IDE. That's it. That's a simple rule. It's going to happen every single time you have a binary compound. Okay, I hope you guys are doing great. And if we are stuck anywhere, I still have old videos on ionic naming, crisscross method, and bonding. So you can look at some of the ones from last year, or you can also ask Miss Jarena next door for help, and the substitute can bring her in. Okay? All right. Let me give you another easy question. Here you have potassium, and they're telling you that you have 3 of them. And you have nitride, and they're telling you that you have 1 of them. Well, which one comes first? That should be a nitrogen and a 1. Nitrogen is usually a nonmetal, and potassium is a metal. So because you're doing an ionic compound, remember that your metal goes on the left and your nonmetal goes on the right. So you're going to have K3 and N by itself, because you don't have to write the 1. Okay? All right, as a little bonus, go ahead and put a heart next to your name on top of your handout. Or you can get a stamp from the sub. He has the stamp I used last Wednesday. Right here in this area where it says ionic compounds near your name. And I will give you extra points for that on this handout. Okay, guys. Hope you're doing well.